While supper is cooking real quick, I wanted to take the opportunity to share with you my latest jar haul. We were recently on vacation, my husband and I, along with my mom and her best friend, and we were in Colorado. We have family who lives in Monument, and we have a daughter and a son-in-law who live in Fort Collins. So between Monument and Fort Collins, you have to go through Denver. On Facebook Marketplace that morning before we left to go through Denver, looking for jars. I can't remember how many jars were in the lot. I can tell you that I have 45 total here, including some special jars that are not for canning, but only 10 of these came from a different source. So everything else I got from one woman in Denver who just wanted to get rid of what she had. They were in old, disgusting, moldy boxes, and I got the whole lot for $15. I didn't even try to talk her down. I thought that was really good. None of the jars that she sold me were chipped to the point where they won't can. Like, for instance, this one has a chip right there, but it's on the edge of the jar and not on the rim. So this jar, in my opinion, would not have any difficulty holding a seal for the canning process. The rest of these jars came from a thrift store that we stopped at, and so I did pick them out individually, and I think I paid too much. I ended up paying $15 there because some of them that I thought were discounted were not, and then with tax and everything it ended up being $15, and I only got 10 jars there, and most of what I bought there was not for canning, so I was disappointed in my thrift store haul. But I got some little specialty jars there, these little Atlas mason jars that I don't typically use these to can with, but I love that they have the measurements on the side of the jar, so I do use them for different projects. This one is, I think, a full quart, and I love the measurements on there. I love to use those for all different kinds of projects. These were 2 jars that I did get in my jar haul from Denver that I won't use for canning. This one has a chip on the rim anyway, but it is not marked anywhere. So while it is pretty, I think, and I think it's older because it has this strong shoulder under the rim. This is probably a mayonnaise jar, but I don't know where this jar came from, so I would not be comfortable canning in that jar. Of my 19 wide mouth jars, I did get 2 more of these long life, which in my last jar haul, I got my very first one of these ever. So I was kind of excited to see those in there. Most of the ball jars are kind of newer and some of these are still wet. I just finished cleaning them up. I believe this one is probably from the 1933 to 1960 period, as well as about half of my pint-sized jars that I got. I think those are all from about the same time period. Most of the regular mouth jars are the newer ball, with the exception of the Kerr. So most of what I got was not actually ball. They were these Kerr jars, which is fine. Kerr makes a great jar. What I'm most excited about, what I really am dying to share with you, is this. This jar is amber. It's got an amber, a very slight, stupid fly. It has a very slight amber tint to it. And based on the shape of the letters and the fact that there is no line under the word ball, this jar was most likely manufactured between 1923 and 1933. So that means this jar could be 100 years old. How cool is that? I probably will not can with this jar because it is so unique to me and my collection. I'll probably put something pretty in it and have it on my counter. When I am shopping for jars in Marketplace or at a garage sale, I'm not looking for antiques. People who think they have antique jars, and even people who don't think they have antiques, they charge an astronomical price for those jars. When I'm looking for jars on Marketplace or at a rummage sale, wherever, I'm looking for a tool. Got this little bonus jar that I'm so excited about. This is really cute. It was in my stash of jars that I got from the lady in Denver. And it is made in France. The fill line is indicated in French. I've taken it completely apart, cleaned it, and I think it's beautiful. It's marked with France on the inside of the lid. It did not come with the gasket, the rubber gasket, which is a good thing in my opinion, because it probably would have been dry rotted and stuck to the glass, and that would have been even more of something that I would have had to have cleaned. These jars, when I got home from Colorado, I only had a space of about 4 days, and then I had to leave for Iowa for work. And so these jars went into some water with some bleach in it, and they sat until I got back from Iowa. And I was able, I caught a bug in Iowa, if you could tell. I'm still really stuffed up, but today was the first day that I've been able to deal with these, and by the time I got around to cleaning them, the bleach water had really removed most of the dirt that was in these jars. I didn't have to really put a lot of elbow grease into getting them to the condition they're in now, as opposed to some of my previous hauls where I've had to put a lot of elbow grease in. I spent about $30 for everything that I got in Colorado, and that's about 66 cents per jar, even for my cute little airlock jar from France, and including the 8 jars that I will not use for canning. But overall, I am super happy with this.